Hello there, welcome back to my ongoing series where I'm going to be showing you how to edit faster in Premiere Pro. In this video, I'm going to be showing you 3 ways to sift through your footage. And whether you have a few clips or hours of footage, these are the methods that I use to pull out the best shots for my shoot. In summary, the 3 ways are the in and out method, the single timeline method, and my favorite, the double timeline method. However, none are better than the other because it's all about finding out what works for you. So without further ado, let's just dive right in. So starting with the first method, the in and out method. This is the first and most simple way to pull out the best shots from your footage. To do this, go over to your project bin, and for each clip you have, find your desired in and out points by using the keyboard shortcuts I and O. After choosing your desired selection, simply drag your clip onto the timeline and you'll find that only the part that you selected will be dragged onto the timeline. Do that for every clip, and that's the in and out method. Now for the second method, the single timeline method. This was the way I used to do it before I discovered the third method. To do this, highlight and drag all your clips onto the timeline. Then begin scrubbing through and cutting out all the parts that you don't want and keeping all the parts that you do want. In the end, you'll be left with a clump of all your selections you deemed good. Then drag all your selections further down the timeline and start building your timeline from the ground up. The only problem with this is that I have to be 100% certain about whether I want to delete a clip or not. Because if I delete a selection early on in my edit and I later on want to use that, I'm going to have to re-drag that whole clip in, find the selection I want, and then put it back in my edit, thus wasting a lot of time. Or alternatively, you can just use the in and out method to find the selection again. But still, that wastes a lot of time. And that leads me to my third point, or my third method, and that is the double timeline method. This is my favorite method because I don't have to worry about my selections going missing. This method is really similar to the single timeline method, but after you sift through all your footage, instead of creating your edit in the same timeline, you're going to create a new sequence and drag it underneath your selection timeline. Then proceed to building your edit on the blank timeline by dragging in the selections you want without worrying about it ever going missing. Because if I ever delete a clip that I don't want, I could always refer back to it in the first timeline and re-drag it back onto my edit. And that's pretty much it to my 3 methods. Again, none of these methods are better than the other. It's all about finding what works for you. So play around and see which one works best for you, because the other 2 may work better for you, but not for me. Or develop a completely new method if none of the ones I showed you work for you. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.